The man who speaks least often says the most. Ascenders. Some chase attention like it's oxygen. Others walk in silence, yet somehow everyone turns their head. This isn't about fake confidence or recycled dominance. This is about a breed that plays outside the social algorithm. Sigma males don't compete. They remove themselves from the scoreboard entirely. And that's what makes them irresistible. This video isn't for followers. It's for the ones who orbit their own gravity. So if you're one of the few building your legend in silence, you're exactly where you belong. Subscribe, Ascender, not for the algorithm, but because quiet power needs a home. Welcome to Sigma Ascends. Let's unpack the mystique. 1. The magnetic void. Why absence feels like presence. The most powerful force in the room is often what's not being said. Sigma males have a gift. They fill space by not trying to fill it at all. They are magnetic because they don't broadcast. They don't perform. They don't fight for attention. Instead, they withdraw. And in doing so, they create a vacuum. That vacuum pulls people in, curious, intrigued, unsettled. Why isn't he speaking? Why isn't he trying to connect? What is he thinking? That gap in visibility becomes a mirror for others' projections. People start imagining depth, mystery, meaning. This isn't manipulation, it's just presence without desperation. In a world where everyone's shouting for validation, silence is louder. The Sigma doesn't just say less, he intentionally removes himself. He's not afraid to go dark, to disappear, to leave a conversation unfinished. That aura of controlled distance is a psychological weapon. Because mystery beats clarity when it comes to attraction, people chase what they don't fully understand. They want to decode the man who never needed to be explained. This aura isn't fake, it's the result of self-possession. When you're not trying to be liked, you become irresistible. When you're not reaching out, others lean in. The magnetic void isn't cold, it's strategic. It forces people to work harder to earn access. And the rarest currency in a noisy world, a man who doesn't need to be seen to be remembered. 2. Decoded gaze, the eyes that read, not perform. The Sigma gaze is not about intimidation, it's about penetration. He doesn't look at people the way most do. He doesn't seek approval with his eyes. He collects data. While others use eye contact to connect, the Sigma uses it to assess. It's a scan, not a performance. His eyes don't ask for permission. They demand authenticity. This makes people uncomfortable in a good way. It strips off masks. It calls out performance. Because when a Sigma locks in, he's not impressed by charm or surface-level talk. He's tracking patterns. He's feeling the gaps between the words. People say, he looked right through me. That's because he probably did. This gaze isn't about ego, it's about clarity. Sigma males read body language, tonality, micro-expressions, often without realizing it. They are hardwired to observe before they engage. It's also what makes their silence feel loaded. When a Sigma is quiet, it's never accidental. He's processing, choosing his next move with precision. And that's what creates tension, not fear, but fascination. People feel exposed in a Sigma's presence, yet drawn in. Because for once, someone isn't buying the act. Someone's seeing through it. The decoded gaze isn't loud. It doesn't need to be. It says, I see you, the real you, even if you're not ready to see yourself. That level of awareness, that quiet psychological edge, unforgettable. 3. The absence of need. Why detachment is a superpower. Neediness is repellent, but pure detachment, that's power in its rawest form. Sigma males walk through life with a striking lack of dependency. They don't need attention to validate their identity. They don't need affection to feel worthy. They don't need approval to act. that lack of emotional need becomes irresistible. Why? Because most people operate from the opposite framework. They seek reassurance, belonging, constant external feedback. The Sigma isn't cold, but he is complete. He's not looking for someone to fill a gap. He's already filled it with purpose, solitude, discipline. This detachment doesn't mean indifference. It means freedom. He chooses people, places, and paths without fear of loss. He can walk away at any time, and that's what makes people want him to stay, because nothing creates desire like someone who doesn't require it. In relationships, Sigmas don't beg, chase, or cling. They set boundaries effortlessly. They disappear when disrespected. They value their own time so much, others start valuing it too. People may not even realize why they're drawn to a Sigma's energy. But it's often this: he doesn't need you. And the paradox? That absence of need makes others want to earn a place. In a world obsessed with likes, follows, and validation, the Sigma's aura whispers, "I am whole without any of this." That's not just attractive, it's rare. The lone blueprint, building without permission society, hands out templates. Go to school, get the job, get married, settle down. Most men follow the script like background actors in someone else's movie, not the Sigma. The Sigma male designs his own operating system. He doesn't rebel for attention. He disengages with intent. He opts out of paths that don't resonate, even if they're popular. That autonomy is dangerous, in the best way. It means he can't be manipulated with social pressure. He's not chasing trends, approval, or groupthink. He's chasing alignment. His blueprint is often strange to others. Maybe he works alone. Maybe he lives off-grid. Maybe he reads things nobody around him reads. But everything he does is by conscious design. And that's what makes him powerful. Every move comes from internal clarity, not external noise. The lone blueprint also means he's accountable. No excuses. No one to blame. He owns the wins and the failures. That level of self-direction is rare, and people respect it, even if they don't understand it. Others watch, confused. How is he succeeding without following the path? That's the point. The Sigma isn't trying to be different. He just refuses to live on autopilot. He's not loud about his strategy. But when the results show up, everyone notices. 5. Quiet edge theory, the calm that cuts deeper. Most people think power is loud, but the Sigma male proves the opposite. Real power whispers. Quiet edge theory is the concept that silence, when paired with intention, becomes more cutting than confrontation. Sigma males don't bark orders. They don't flex aggressively. They sit still and shake the room. Their calm is not weakness. It's restraint. It's awareness. It's control over energy, not the absence of it. In tense situations, others escalate. The Sigma de-escalates internally because he's not emotionally hijacked. That makes him intimidating in a way most can't explain. There's something unsettling about a man who doesn't flinch, doesn't overreact, and doesn't need to prove he's dominant. His stillness disorients. People sense he's calculating even when silent. This gives him leverage. Why? Because emotional control is rare. Everyone else is playing checkers. The Sigma is quiet because he's playing chess. The quiet edge also translates into negotiation, leadership, and conflict. He doesn't attack. He waits for the right moment, for the right words, for the other side to show their hand. And when he does speak, it lands. Every word means something. Compare that to the average person who speaks just to fill silence. The Sigma weaponizes silence. He uses it as a tool, not a gap. In a society full of noise, drama, and emotional overexposure, his quiet edge feels like an anomaly. But it's not emptiness, it's precision. Power isn't how loud you are, it's how calm you remain when others lose control. The Sigma question mark. He never needs to raise his voice to be heard. 6. Emotional encryption, the hidden layers of a Sigma. The Sigma male is not emotionally dead. He's emotionally encrypted. He feels deeply. But you'll never hear him broadcasting those emotions in public or weaponizing them to gain sympathy. He doesn't post heartbreak online. He doesn't turn pain into performance. He processes privately. This restraint creates curiosity. Others want to know, what is he feeling? Is he okay? Why does he seem so composed? The truth is, Sigmas live with emotional clarity. They feel everything, but they don't hand those feelings over to just anyone. Their emotions are encrypted for a reason: security. The Sigma knows that emotional exposure is a kind of access, and not everyone deserves access. That's not cold, that's discernment. When a Sigma does share emotionally, it matters, because it's rare, it's filtered, it's real. This emotional encryption also makes Sigmas strong in relationships. They don't overreact, they don't guilt trip, they don't play emotional chess. They lead with stability, and in an age of emotional volatility, that's magnetic. Some misread this encryption as detachment, but the truth is simple. The Sigma has done the inner work. He doesn't need to dump his process on others. He contains it, and in doing so, he earns something most men don't: respect, not just for what he shows, but for what he doesn't. 7. Unclocked charisma, influence without intention. Sigmas don't chase charisma, they embody it. They don't try to be charming. They don't rehearse social tactics. Their energy is raw, quiet, and real. This is what makes them unclockable. People can't quite explain why they're drawn in. There's no obvious charm play, no show, no spotlight tactics, but still, they watch when he moves. They remember what he says. They want to know more. Unclocked charisma means the Sigma doesn't operate from social hunger. He's not performing. He's just present, locked in, grounded. His charisma comes from alignment. He knows what he values. He knows who he is. He knows what he won't tolerate. That self-assuredness creates an energetic pull. Because while others seek attention, the Sigma already has inner approval. He doesn't push to be accepted. He already accepts himself. This creates intrigue. When a man doesn't need the room adjusts to him. That's not arrogance. That's energetic clarity, and it's magnetic in its own category. Others can't clock what it is. They just feel it. That's the Sigma's edge. He doesn't have to convince you. You just start watching. 8. Borderline dangerous controlled power that hints at chaos. A Sigma doesn't radiate danger in the obvious way. He's not reckless, he's not unhinged, but you sense he could be. That hint, just enough to trigger your primal awareness, is where the power lives. Borderline dangerous isn't about threatening people. It's about walking with such contained strength that others intuit, this man has depth I shouldn't test. Sigma males often have backstories they don't share, struggles they overcame without applause, skills developed in solitude, experiences that sharpened them but didn't break them. That gives them edge. When others get loud to compensate, the Sigma stays quiet, because he knows what he's capable of. He doesn't posture, he prepares, and people feel that preparation in the way he moves, speaks, and holds his ground. It's not bravado. It's potential energy. You don't need to swing the sword when everyone knows you carry it. That's the essence of being borderline dangerous. It's the calm that makes you wonder, how far does this guy go if he's pushed? That tension. It commands instant respect. 9. Selective presence. Scarcity as strategy. Sigmas don't flood your feed. They don't attend every event. They don't always show up. That's not laziness. it's leverage. The Sigma uses absence like others use branding. He knows that if you're always accessible, your presence loses weight. So he limits access on purpose. He's not hiding, he's filtering. He appears when it matters, when it's aligned, when the moment calls. And that's why when he does show up, people pay attention. He speaks less, but when he does, people listen harder. Scarcity breeds value. The less you see him, the more you notice when he's there. This is not manipulation. It's self-respect. He doesn't give his energy freely. He conserves it. He sharpens it. He waits. And then, with one well-placed moment, he shifts the room. That's selective presence. You don't demand attention when your absence already makes people ask, where is he? 10. Built in. Transcendence, always evolving, never settling. Here's what most don't understand about the Sigma. He's never finished. While others build comfort zones, the Sigma builds versions. He upgrades, iterates, sheds old skins like a quiet machine. He doesn't announce the transformation. He just shows up one day, different, sharper, quieter, stronger. This is built-in transcendence. It's not forced. It's a system, a personal code that says, every chapter I evolve, whether you notice or not. And this internal evolution creates an irresistible mystery. People wonder, what changed? Where has he been? What's he working on? Truth is, the Sigma never stops.
But to level up, and when he returns, he's on a different frequency. One most can't even embrace us. That's transcendence. When you would grow.
The world doesn't even really sit until you really got the sentence. Come at us and ask for. Till dawn's lands, solitude, and eternal force, people, his presence, no more. Yeah, but I entered. That each not carries my that's out of a man who could build himself off of the grid. So if you're building in silence, you're wrong. That's you must be you're listening for scribe. Sigma ascend, not because the world tells you to grow, but because you already know it. Sing it